Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone on the stream, catching a few friendly, normal names there. This is Logistical Nightmares, team versus team on console, round 5 at Mount Panorama. Oh boy, man, is this gonna be epic? I don't know about you. If you haven't seen what has occurred since the beginning of season 2 at Team versus Team at Logistical Nightmares, then I don't know where you boys and girls have been. But once again, we just bring ourselves to the foundations of the mountain, all the way down in Australia. My favorite track, loving it out here. Boys are out on their qualifying sessions in their chosen GT3 cars. The track is wet, the conditions are wet, it's slippery all over, and I. Where do we even start? 17, 18 boys on the split, ready to race. This is round 5. Let's see where this kicks off. Currently looking at a boy by the name called Robin Dobbin, smashing it out with his Aston Martin, already finished and finalized his outlap, ready to set up a qualifying time. Again, not a lot of time for these boys to do what is needed on point. 10 minutes of qualifying is all that we allow every race. And then, of course, they have to make matters. They have to do it when it counts. And this is now. It's the decision of whether you go tough, hard, break records, or tough, hard, and break barriers is my thought. So, welcome to all the boys on stream. Tintin, Timothy, Frankie, anyone else, just say hi, man. Pop up, say hello, welcome. Again, thanks for your support. I'm going to try and make this as entertaining as possible. If I had a commentator sitting next to me, I would normally just go by like, what would be your approach on this daunting task? The task of my favorite track. And I'm going to keep saying this is my favorite track. And a lot of guys are going to go like, but why? How is that even possible? I truly, honestly don't know. I think I have the strangest love for tracks. Mount Panorama is one of them. Bathurst is the other one. Laguna Seca is another one. And I think it's all about that magnitude of concentration you need and focus to get it right. Lap after lap after lap, and there's just no resting period. I cannot recall at any given stage doing any of those three tracks going, I can take a break, I can breathe. It's just one of those. I beg to differ. Anyone else tell me otherwise, but that is what it is. Skitty is on a flyer, and of course on the ball mark at this moment. 5 minutes to go. Skitty smashing it out on a benchmark with a 208.4 in these conditions. In all fairness, that is fundamentally very quick. That is a benchmark there, even with an Audi. And again, a car that doesn't really like the curbs. I've been told on numerous occasions that touch a curb and all this car wants to do oversteer and understeer, and then everything else besides stay on the black stuff. Yet tonight, Skitty brings it back with the Audi, puts up a qualifying lap time of 208. Not far behind him is GTA's Frost, an individual from Team Valentino that struggled so badly last week. And again, if you guys thought this week was a challenge, last week Novo Green on a cup car Porsche was horrifying. So many guys struggled. Top individuals struggled. The Team Valentino couldn't even deal with it. didn't get the best of race 1, nor did they get anything out of race 2. Tonight they're back into their comfort zone, bringing back the Ferrari, one car that did so well in the Barcelona race not so long ago. Didn't get the win though, but did phenomenally well. I don't know if I see any other good names here. Eleanor Pace, the man that is here to beat. Again, he individually dominated Barcelona from recollection, smashed it out of the park, left, right and center the last time he jumped into the GT3 car. So again, top 3 boys in my humble opinion to watch, and for those that haven't been watching, I gotta ask, where have you been? Like, seriously? Battle on point, I would go Eleanor Pace, Frost and Skitty. Frost and Pace is in there. Ferrari, Skitty is in the Audi, still looking good. Again, top boy achievers. Eleanor Dave has had phenomenal good drives. Seems to be very dominant in that Mercedes-Benz of his. A solid boy on track as always, Robin. RTA Moutois and his McLaren, again the only McLaren on track, apparently the OP car at the moment within Assetto Corsa Competizione. The only track this car doesn't like is Kyalami, so no Kyalami for us this season. We've brought the difficult ones at play, so lots of things to expect from RTA. Eleanor Pace also doing good, and of course Popcorn ZA, teammate of Eleanor Pace, phenomenal qualifying session. GTA is Frost 207.5. I don't know what happened, but something has made these boys come into the playing ground. Is this one of those nights where Frost is gonna smash it out of the park? His teammate seems to be struggling a bit. Again, the mountain is not the favorable track. Coming down the S's is where the tricky part is. And then of course, once you've maneuvered all those little things, just as I was about to mention it, once you've maneuvered all those things, you gotta be cautiously aware of the dipper, which if you overbrake, underbrake, it will just throw you all over the show. And as we've just noted there, poor GTA is slow. That corner did get a better of him. Having a look at Jay Doble, he still hasn't put a time down. Definitely struggling. Coming down into Skyline, going very wide, messes it up, and that is just gonna kill all the momentum he had. Oh, bouncing off the wall. This is what the mountain can do with you. One moment lapse of concentration and it just spits you out. I feel sorry for the boys because, like we've indicated, this is gonna be one of those tests of endurance, tests of abilities. 20-30 seconds to go in a qualifying session. Lots of boys on track again. Some individuals are not gonna do a qualifying time. That is for sure. I can see 3 of them. Frankie, Mulgary, Jay Doble. Not enough time for them to do much. Fireblade being out-qualified by Charlie in the Aston Martin. So Charlie starting to get comfortable with that car. A lot for him. New learning curves. Robin Dobbin looking very settled and secure there in his normal 6th position. RTA Moutois struggling this week with his McLaren. And this could all just purely be based on rain conditions. McLaren might not like it, but this is the mountain. Away to Paul, away. Welcome to the stream, man. And again, looking at RTA heading into Skyline. Well, not now, but the following corner. This is where we get Skyline corner, and then you're just gonna smash it on the brakes. Hit it very hard into the S's. It's all about carrying that momentum, but not too much, because you might just lose it on the rear end side. Full throttle. Get your brake marker into the dipper and then Conrad straight all the way. Full throttle. Maximize your speed. So hopefully he is looking to improve on his 7th position. Alan Pace has gotten it down to 2nd place. He's on his final lap. Can he improve it? Frost has gone back to the pits. He went, that is it. Popcorn is back in the pits. Skitty sitting in the pits in 4th place. Comfortable as it is. Pace wants that pole position. Can he put it on the blocks? A little bit too wide there. Quick on the throttle. Now it's all about getting your position right at Murray's corner. Good exit there. Don't see anything wrong. Can he improve on it? No, he does not improve that much. Still in 2nd. Boys have done phenomenally well. So, where do we sit in qualifying position? Let's just see where it is. Timetables, qualifying. This is it, where it is. Frost takes pole position. Not his first time he's been there. So, can he lead the pack from start to finish? In my gut goes yes, because this man dominated race 1 at Misano with the Lambos. So, he has the ability and the potentials to do so. Just get this back up. Then we have Alan Pace in 2nd place, off by a marginal half a second. Nonetheless, 2 boys in the 207s. Popcorn ZA with a good drive over there with a low 208, followed by Skitty in 4th. Eleanor Dave in 5th. Then we have Robin Dovin in 6th. RTA Mutua did not manage to do a better time down there, but still a good and respectable 209, followed by Checo in the 209s, Sarge in the 209s, and then Fireblade in the 209s. And once again, a scenario where top 3 boys, top 4, outclassing the mid-pack boys, and then all the mid-pack guys bunched up together in and about the same time frame. So I'm expecting to see some good racing tonight. That I can assure you. Everyone all over the show, I guess. It's hard to say that it will not be a race to watch. With Charlie finishing it off in 11th, BR NTZ in 12th. GTA is slow in 13th, struggled very badly there, did mess it up and lost it there by the dipper. Eleanor Cal VDB, good race by him last week. OJJS, fantastic on the boards. And then we have the 3 individuals, Frankie, Mo, Gary, and Jay Doble, that just didn't set a good time. So, where do we sit? Where do we sit? Mid-pack here. Gotta get some great info from the guys. And again, guys on the stream going like, want advice, take it easy. Wait for the other one to make mistakes. That is probably the best and other advice I would give to anyone on this track tonight. Mount Panorama is one of the famous tracks that will generate a victory for any driver on any condition, on circumstances that you can pull it out of the bag, stay away from the walls, and survive. I'm not so sure who will be in a position to do that, but I will be very surprised to figure out who can survive tonight. Again, big ups, everything up for grabs. Looks like the Ferrari is being very dominant, just looking at how the pack stands out. 1, 2, and 3 closed out Ferrari boys. I'm kind of shocked that the Ferrari is that quick on a wet track. I would have never said that. But then again, anything is fairly possible. And then right after that is Skitty and his Audi, and then we start getting the front rear engines there, which is Dave and Robin and those boys. So again, a Ferrari dominance from start to finish. Will that be the case at the end of the race? We have a 75-minute race here up for grabs. Mandatory pit stop is needed where these boys have to do a tire change. It is all wet here this evening. No anticipations of any sun. It is wet from start to finish. Variable weather is out the door. Dry racing is out the door. Hell conditions is at play. Best I can give them and tell anyone is good luck. Those who survive will succeed. Again, don't run away. This is just going to be epic and phenomenal. Looking at pace here, just on his outer lap. This is his challenge tonight. Can he bring it? Is there like a possibility to take another victory on a GT3 car? Will Frost outrace the pace? I'm not doubting that for any second. Anything can go on. 75 minutes of pure adrenaline racing. 6 o'clock in the morning on race night. Conditions are horrendous. Back onto Skyline. Guys are going to make a slow go down the S's. Again, this is just the out lap, warm-up lap. Race will start in the next few minutes. Again, the boys on the stream, give me your input, give me your feedback. Where do you reckon we are? Who's going to take it? Top 3, top 4, top 5? Who are you voting, wishing, wanting to take the victory? Who is your guy? Who is your team? I don't know. Love to get your feedback, boys. I'm probably the most biased individual out there. It is very hard for me to pick a favorite. I would honestly go top 5 is going to be a very hard battle. And in all fairness, let's say worst case scenario, best case scenario, none of the guys actually has accidents, or no one has severe fumbles, or everything goes good from start to finish. It is going to be a daunting task for these guys to make positions, make moves, get it all right, get it up there, set up your pit stops right, make sure your pit entry and pit exit is on point, because you can lose so much time doing it. It's not the easiest pit entry out of all the tracks. Got all these fantastic S's here and there, 2 boundary balls left and right. What else can the mountain do to make it worse? And then individuals on Formula 1 goes like, no, we need to do something about Al Rouge. I don't know, the mountain is quite scary. Let's see. Guys like Sean Stradom is going rain, Bathurst, loving it. Yeah, that's a fact, and he's a pace man, so he reckons Paceman is going to take it. Quentin Quarantino shouting there for Robin Dobbs. Again, Robin Dobbs has been very good lately. He's masterclass and putting it down lap by lap. So let's see where we sit. Green race is on. This is where it sits. Will the guys do a clean start? Don't see any hassles. People giving enough space. Individuals going very wide. Oh, that is just a terrible start. Robin Dobbin seems to be the man being affected, but I could be wrong. Back of the pace, people have gone awfully wrong just starting it. Not 100% sure what that is, but I can tell you Eleanor Pace has capitalized on it, and so did Skitty. So Skitty and Pace capitalized on the starting grid. GTA's Frost lost 2 positions. That is not ideal. I bet you that is not where this man wanted to be, especially at the start. get the right cam equivalent on there, boys. Fighting, battling out there, yellow all over the show. Everything will catch up with me a little bit later on. It is a bit tricky here and there. Race has gone relatively okay. It looks fairly good for the top 8 boys. Not 100% sure what happened to the lower end, but definitely some incidents there. Fireblade seems to be one of those being heavily affected. So did Mr. NTZ. Just by looking at where they are. Guys that capitalized on positions was Kale LVBD, and he's definitely win a lot. Pace and Skitty, these two boys are battling it out. This is where it sits at. They've already made a gap up just on Frost on the first lap. Not sure how that was done, but I somehow suspect that both these guys sitting in the front, running away from Frost, managed to warm his tires up phenomenally well, and that just gives them the utter best advantage. Skitty coming out there a bit skittish. That did lose a bit of momentum on him, so outbraked himself, lost some time. That has now put Frost all over the back of that Audi. And can he maintain that? And not far from that is Popcorn chasing the other Audis down. Rear end there by Dave, chasing down Robin. He's then being chased down by Sarge, then Kale VDB, got Checo, then Frankie at the back, Jay Doble looking good in his Ferrari. Then we have more backpack people there by GTA is slow, not bad, OJG, NTZ. Ooh, Audi is smashed, that for sure. Mutua has lost a lot of positions, and then we have Mark Gary there coming up in the way rear end of it. So a lot has happened in the first couple of laps. Plenty of fender benders here and there. And again, car 57, which is Fireblade, not having the best of races. It looks like he is crawling back to the pits. Oh, not a good rise, not a good start. And we can probably recover it, get the car fixed up, send it out, get it all done. Bob's your uncle, fix it, and try and make up positions. Let's go back to the front. Oh, Skitty has lost position. I don't know what happened, but Skitty lost a couple of positions. He is now behind Robin. So something has changed. More drama on top of the hill there by Skyline just before the S's. So again, anything can happen here. Telemetry hasn't really swapped out and changed. Skitty is all back at Robin. He's going to have to fight for this position to try and regain it. He's going to look at the inside, opening it up. That Audi is quick and fast comparing to the Aston Martin. Takes the inside line, makes up position. Phenomenal pass, man. That Audi looks quick. Boys on the stream going, Skitty has to be on his game to make it count. Well, in all fairness, Skitty again has put himself in a position where he has got a lot to do. So much work behind him. Pace, on the other hand, is leading it by far, creating the gaps. Again, one of the tracks he loves. From personal experience, I've raced with this man on this track, and the last time I did it, we did it in a dry condition. And I think we ended up after the race, and I believe it was literally just a 60-minute race. He was 20 seconds ahead of me. No clue how he did it, but it is probably one of his favorites. I'm going to have to find out by these guys who is loving this track, who hates it, who doesn't. Plenty to talk for. Popcorn looks solid tonight. From a team perspective, Team Pace Corn is here, or is it Team Pace something? Oof, I gotta get the names right, boys. Gotta get the names right. Let's just go have a squint. Entries. Yeah, it is. Team Pace Corn is looking to achieve a lot of points this evening if they manage to maintain this start finish. Phew. Plenty ongoing. Looking a bit at the back, Robin and Dave settling very well there. Both these individuals are trying to chase down Skitty, but it does look like Skitty is more on a charge. That Audi, excuse me, that Audi is phenomenally quick down the straight. Sarge looking good in the Lexus, and again, not a car that he was in love with at the start of the series. Nonetheless, he and Mulcahy, the two teammates, opted to go for Lexus. So far, it has looked very good for him. Settling it down, he is being chased down by Checo. Again, Checo looks good in that black Ferrari. Solid as can be. Bit of battles here at the back. Mulcahy trying to challenge OJJ. Ooh, that did not look awesome at all. Ooh, and that I'm not 100% sure what went wrong there. It looked like one individual just messed it up, lost complete control of his car. That's OJJ. Mulcahy capitalized on that, went to the side, missed the whole scenario, and then GTA Slow had absolutely nowhere to go but into the Mercedes, who is now both crawling to get back onto track. Fireblade has missed a couple of incidents. It looks like that car is damaged once again. This mountain is not doing anyone favors. At the end of this race, we either gonna have individuals not very happy, or some individuals who are never gonna return back to the mountain, because man, this is not a challenge. This is a daunting task. A daunting task. Gary looking good. He passed of Charlie. Charlie seems to be fairly settled there. Again, this is all about how you carry the race, where you make it a count. Someone again right there by Skyline messed it up, and I don't know who that is. It looks like number 4. That was 80 Mutua is struggling tonight. By the looks of it, just looking at it, car is damaged. Front end has got a bit of aero. It looks like a bit of aero damage. Not a happy front end. He is shifting the car from left to right, trying to figure out if it can stay there. Will he run into the pits and do a couple of changes, get it fixed up, get it out on track again? It doesn't look like a very happy McLaren. I have to say that. Yeah, Skitty. Still in 4th. Slowly making up time there though. Not a lot. Individuals ahead of him are keeping on good pace, so it doesn't seem like these boys are gonna make good time up in a span of 1 or 2 laps. This is literally gonna be who can outlast, outwit, and outplay. Sarge still there. Checo still in running. Toa is in the pits, that's for sure. OJJ was in the pits, he's gonna come out. GTA is slow. That Ferrari just looks utterly smashed. Not happy about that. Bet you he is thumping down that steering wheel, going like why, and why. Back to the leaders. This is coming down Conrad Straight, looking at Eleanor Pace, leader of the track. He is ahead of everyone overall. Behind him he's got Frost. You can see how much work he has to do maintaining that steering wheel. All the relevant brake markers down Conrad Straight is no more. Frost still maintaining the same race pace, it seems. not giving it up this evening, and I think this is where the battle's going to be at the end of the race. There's Mutua coming out of the pits, looking at him. Right behind Frost is Popcorn. And then we have Skitty, followed by Robin. Over the hill. Up to Quarry. Very, very tricky corner this one. Gotta get the brake markers right. Not necessarily around here. If and when the scenario does occur, when it's no rain and everything, you can go over those curves, push the limitations of the car, get the better exit out of it. But tonight on a wet track, don't believe that that is the better approach. Into cutting. Both Base and Frost maximizing the track. Going very wide there into Sky. Just look at this. This to me is a phenomenal view. Coming down the mountain, through the S's, heading all the way down to the tipper. The most challenging approach of all, and then coming around the bend and then going full throttle down straight. Epic drive by Pace. This does look like one kicker of a lap. Nonetheless, even if it was, Frost is not far behind it. Lost a bit of time there coming down the second sector of the race. But these two individual boys are looking very comfortable. If this continues where it is, it's all about where the pit stops is. Who's going to make the move? Where do they gain momentum? How do you gain an advantage on this track with these conditions? Knowing that you have to change your tire and change your pit. Two more individuals coming out of the pit box. Popcorn sitting comfortably there in third position. He is being was being hunted down by Skitty just as we were about to talk to him or about him. Outbreaks himself by Hull Corner, went very wide, lost all the time he did try and make up catching Popcorn ZA. Now he needs to redo all the efforts once again. Definitely not a happy chappy this evening. Battling it out this evening are little pockets of racing guys here and there. So we've got Pace and Frost challenging each other there in the front. Popcorn being chased down by Skitty. Gets the momentum, loses the momentum, but we'll get there. Then we have this middle pocket of individuals, Robin, Darwin, Eleanor, Dave, and then Sarge battling out here in the mid-range. Checo is there in the wing side of it with his Ferrari. Again, it does seem like it's a very Ferrari-dominated track. Is Jay Doble looking very well there with his his 888 Ferrari in 9th place. And then Frankie, the one and only individual that has an Aston Martin, and again, this is not the new one, this is the V12 Aston Martin. And I gotta do this, boys. This is just gonna be one of those things where you need to listen. Sounds of a V12. The sounds of a V12. I don't know about you. It's just one of those epic voice, the race, car noises that I love. I don't know what I wanted to say there. Like all kinds of things. Looking at the gap here. New battle in place. Sarge versus Dave, and right behind these boys is AC Mutua. Now, of course, Mutua is an individual currently running in 13th position, so he is in the middle of a battle. Because I would assume Checo is right there behind him. Hopefully not going to be held up by Mutua. And of course Checo's going to be... Ooh! Ooh! Great awareness there by these guys. Me going ooh, ooh, ooh. That is phenomenally well done by Checo. Looking at the guy ahead of him, noting that he just made a big mistake. Going into Skyline, overcooked it into the wall, and then lost it again. Jay Doble caught up a bit of time. I'm not so sure who that Aston was. Definitely not from Charlie, so I'm guessing Fireblade. That was Fireblade, also very aware of what just occurred there. The well-run driver behavior, looking at the incident, moving away from it, slowing it down, and then just making sure that they do not get involved. The more you on track here, the harder it's going to be. The difficult it is to kind of stay on track and keep it there. That's what you want to maintain. Stay on track, keep it cool, don't fight the driver. Focus on the racetrack. 75 minutes of pure concentration on this track. It's daunting. Absolutely daunting. Never have I ever walked away from a 60-minute race and went like, ooh, poof, that was easy. That's not the case here. This is the mountain. This is Australia. If it ain't the mountain, it is the kangaroo. But something's gonna bite you tonight. Plenty of action still to come everywhere though. Sarge did lose a bit of momentum there. Not so sure what happened. I somehow suspect that Dave has picked up his socks. Got his rhythm back again. Feeling the need for some speed. He needs to chase down Robin. Got to do the best he can trying to capitalize this. Not the most favorable track for anyone. That was Sarge going very wide there. Checo is trying to catch up there. Does look like Checo is a lot closer if I look at the telemetry based on where it was. Because that surely doesn't look like a 3-second gap based on the delta. That is way less than 3 seconds. So Checo is having a drive this lap around. Sarge struggling a bit. Maybe a lapse of concentration here and there. Okay, Doble's still doing well. Checo is on the hunt. In ideal condition, I'm like probably wondering, just looking at it, I mean, Lexus looks to be quick. Yeah, that is less than 2 seconds of gap. So again, the Delta had to update the S3 sector. So it does take a bit of time to update. One more individual on Skyline there. Another individual down there. Let Fag back into the pit. So Dave in the pit. That's all I'm getting. Fireblade back in the pits again. So that is a odd, strange one. Coming into the pits, getting his car fixed up, I presume. Frost and pace. These guys have been battling since the beginning of the race, and again, Frost Frost lost a lot purely just where we stood on qualifying stage. Just going back to that for those that have just joined us, welcome back. Frost did out qualify the pack at the start of the race. He got sucked into the two individuals, Pace and Skitty, being the braver of the both. Took the opportunity and led the race from there. Pace Frost seems to be way more on form now. But now just looking at it and understanding how it all comes down and boils down, Pace is a strategy man. The strategies are yet to come to play. He takes it easy now, gets all well settled in, gets the feel of the car, and then Frost being very, very, very brave there, looking at ways to pass Pace. He does feel like he's got the speed in it. Keeps on looking on the inside. And again, I kind of feel like Pace is playing the mind game. He knows that if he can pull it out, get it done, he can settle it out very nicely. Frost all over the back of Pace, going on the inside line. Is he going to take it? Going very, very wide. This is dauntingly scary. Side by side, they went into quarry. Pace having none of that. Went, you can try, but this is not going to be easy for you. Covering all the bases right there. This is where racing is all about. It's who is the bravest one between them both. And I don't think this is a good time for me to move anywhere but here. Dave, that did go into the pits. He has a stop-go penalty, 30 seconds. That to me sounds like speeding in the pit lane. That's a daunting penalty. Sadly, we can't control it within the console communities. And it's just one of those things. Ideally, we would want to get a drive-through, but I cannot mitigate it. This is all penalties based on what is being set out by the regulations and rules of the game. From a racing position point of view, these two boys are going to be at it for sure. Frost looking at it side by side, left, right, middle, center, not so sure where to do what. Pace covering all aspects. Frost looking outside again, not gonna do the dive now. Making Pace very well aware that this is not yet finished. I love this view. I absolutely love this view from a racing point of view. Back up to Mountain Straight. Who has the better race exit from there? This time around it seems like Pace did get the better race. Frost really thinking of where he can make a move and capitalize it. Coming up the mountain is probably not the ideal solution here. Stop-go penalty cleared for Dave, I believe. Double pit stop for him. That's not going to be what he wanted for a race. Nonetheless, these two boys are battling it out. Both of them look very comfortable as to where and how they are tackling this. Two individual boy that wants to do the best they can based on the race conditions. Eleanor Pace didn't participate in last week's race, wasn't available to be here tonight. He's come back after a short break, looking at means to put his team back onto the score. Frost didn't have the ideal race last week. Two back-to-back 30-minute Cup Car disasters is what I would call it. But did enjoy it, I hope. Coming back this week, challenging for a race victory. That is the Merc. Not so sure who that was, but moved out of the way, knowing that these guys are battling it out. I believe that is OJJ. 12 laps on the go. Frost looking on the inside. Is he going to make a move? No. Too quick, too soon. Trying to force the error on pace, and that is just going to be hard. A man with that much skill, that much craftsmanship in racing, not going to be that easy. So, from the race telemetry point of view, we have a few individuals that has pitted already. The Skitty has gone into the burst. Mutoir, Dave, OJJ, Slow, Kale, VDB, NTZ, and then Fireblade, who is a lot of laps down, but still a daunting task for him to finish the race off, and big ups for him doing so. Always good to see individuals starting something and then finishing it off. And this week we don't have the famous DMR boys on track. I think they came in, raced, and haven't returned back again. Popcorn having the race, a good race on his own. No one really challenging him there. Checo does seem like he managed to pass Sarge. So that was something we missed while on stream. So Checo in 5th position. He did pass Sarge, who is now in 6th position. Jay Doble doing very well in 7th. And by the looks of it, it looks like he is either made up sometime or he's just having a better midsection of the race. Being chased down by Frankie in the Aston Martin. Mulgari in 9th. Charlie is the last remaining individual sitting in the top 10. He is in 10th position. Now he has got Skitty behind him, who in all fairness has done his pit stop. Probably the quicker between the two, so this is 4th position. At no other point or means does Charlie need to create the gap or open the gap for him, so this is going to slow down Skitty. That is for sure. Position is being fought for, whether you have pitted or not. It is what it is. Now some individuals might conclude that that is a bit frustrating because that guy ahead of you is going to pit, so he's going to lose the positions. Therefore, why battle? Why make it so difficult? Well, I think in essence, we can look at it in a different way or a different means. I mean, ideally, the guy ahead of you, the one that hasn't pitted, would probably go like, you know what, anything goes. 45 minutes of racing still to occur. No one has right of way, especially challenging for a race position. You gotta make the gap. You gotta make it happen. But as we have seen, that Audi is very quick. Coming down the straight, did get the better run on the Aston Martin. Aston Martin, not the fastest here. Can't really conclude or validate whether when Charlie opened up the gap. But just look at that. Look at the difference coming down Conrad Straight. The speed that Audi has over that Aston. Just phenomenal. Back to the front running, boys, and again this battle has not stopped. Close stuff by the boys on the stream. Yeah, that is close for sure. I mean, top two boys are giving it beans all the way through. Questions to be asked. Would we have had Skitty in the mix with if he didn't make those two small errors? Popcorn in the pits. Again, at the 45-minute mark in the pits. Half an hour of racing to him. Yellow flag somewhere on track, and that is right here by Quarry. This is where these guys are going to come out of it. What do we have on track? Is that a Aston Martin, making sure he stays away from it. Good driving etiquette there. I believe that is from Charlie, making aware that individuals are behind him. He did make a mistake. He needs to recover. Have to be honest, there's a whole train of guys there, and it's probably no one battling it out. And there's a train of individuals here fighting it through. 18 Mutua is in 12th position. And I believe that is Sarge there ahead of him, because it looks like it. Or it's Mulgari. No, that is definitely Sarge ahead of Mutua. Dave is also here in the mix. He's trying to chase down Mutua, but he has got a Ferrari in between him. And I just cannot make out who that Ferrari is. That's Jay Doble. Got it. Phew, this is so hard. So Jay Doble currently running in 6th. He is in between RTA Mutua and Dave, sitting in 12 and 13. OJJ is chasing down Dave. GTA is slow, is chasing down OJJ. And then we have Jay Doble in the mix here, in between them, having a better race for him, because again, 6th position. I would go by not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Ooh. Just as I've spoken about him going, that's not a too shabby race. He's gotten into the wall twice. Tried to recover the car. Dave is on a better momentum. Dave probably figured out that he should have just let him go, because they are not fighting for position. Dave wants to catch up onto Mutua, but now has lost some momentum there, with Jay Doble bouncing off the wall. Dave looking on the inside line. Merck has far better pace than what that Ferrari has, and I think those couple of benders coming down the S's by Jay Doble has created a bit of havoc for him to steer it through. Now, question stands, will Jay Doble go in the pits? Yes, he does. Yes, he definitely does. Another individual there by Skyline. Skyline has taken it to the max this evening. I gotta be starting to make it count every time an individual messes it up there by Skyline, or Skyline takes you out, and it's not even the sun shining in your eyes, it's literally just rain. It's all about speed, going too quick out of the corner heading into Skyline. This seems to be the biggest challenge. Again, trust. This has now been ongoing for the past 3 laps. Frustration has to be settling in at some point. Oh, he is weight loser going on the outside line, forcing Callum Pace to go in. Oh, Pace goes into the pits, decides this is time to just take it in, get a better pit stop, get new tires. So, in most conditions and circumstances, all individuals that I've ever spoken to has always indicated that an undercut in a wet race will win races. In all fairness, not yet convinced, but it is very possible. So Skitty was coming out of the corner there. He has got frost in his sight, but the variations on position is far greater than what we notice on the gap here. So, Ike, Sky, welcome back, Ike. Hello there. Looking at a man that doesn't normally do commentating. I like to sit behind the scenes, looking at the races, do the races, and probably just dish out some penalties. Ike Sky, one great, phenomenal. I don't know how else, what other words to use as a commentator back into the business, saying hi to us while we're streaming. We on Wednesday Night Racing. This is Logistical Nightmares, team versus team, ACC console series. These boys are on Mount Panorama. 75 minutes of racing. It's raining. It's wet. It is slippery. And it is dangerous. Objective tonight for all the drivers this evening is to see who can outwit, outlast, and outmaneuver the barriers around this track. Thus far, I would guess the top 5 guys have done a significant job this evening. Very few incidents and accidents here and there. It is the latter of the individuals going down that has had lots of fender benders. Skyline has taken out probably half of these individuals out this evening. And of course, we've seen a couple of incidents heading into the dipper. Very few fender benders in the S's. Again, for those that don't know where that is, this is coming down the mountain after Skyline, the most famous Skyline. So guys seem to have had a good handle on the S's, but this section of the race, I am not so overly convinced. So, had a good time looking at Frost, sorry. Looking now at the used to be leader, who's now currently in 5th position. So one of the individuals that went into the pits has led the race from the start. Didn't out-qualify GTA's Frost, so Frost was qualified in 1st. Pace in 2nd, but from a race standing point of view, LNR Pace, aka Kalen, is definitely up for another potential victory. And the last time I believe he raced, which was at Barcelona, he dominated the track series. So let's hope it goes all well for him. Plenty still to go. 36 minutes is a long time, and anything is possible. And the pits now is Frost, so I'll be very curious to see where this man comes out in relation to pace. Did the quitting earlier undercut scenario play an advantage to pace? If so, has that worked out? Did Frost, by having a bit of clean laps, and again I'm just looking at him because I can see pace coming down Conrad Straight, so the question stands, where or when is Frost going to kick that starter button off? Looking at the grid where we're standing, Pace is coming around Murray's corner. He is on his way heading to the start finish line. And it did look like Frost was moving, so this is going to be very close. Frost is out. Oof. Lots of jitter on the server. Frost is in the lead. Undercut didn't work at all. Frost somehow managed with clear track prior to LNR Pace pass going into the pits, and again trying to get that whole undercut thing, has lost a lot of time and momentum. Sarge, however, on the other hand, is really struggling with his internet today, so this is not going to be easy, because even I am struggling to understand where he is. To question stands, is this a server issue? Is this being one of those nights where nothing really works in our favor? Jittery. Lex is there. Oh, base! Not that is hopefully not what I wanted to see. Right into the wall right there. Now that's gonna give him a lot of aerodynamic damage. And right behind him is Eleanor Dave, who has also had a very difficult race night tonight. Qualified somewhere here, plus or minus at 5th position, and now need to fight it all back. So yes, Mr. Ike is cooking. That sounds delicious, man. I'm only catching up now to figure out what is going on. Love to know what you're cooking, man. This is like what, 8 o'clock at night here in the UK world, and you are cooking. And the man goes, you can only take so much ego stroking. So, hey, this is me just talking and talking. Yes, let's go back onto the racing. Skyline is a very tricky location for any given circumstances. Whether it's dry or wet condition, it doesn't make it any easier at all. Looking at it from a race perspective, one individual has left us. We seem to have lost one guy. I somehow fear that was Sarge. Yep, it seems to have been Sarge. That internet didn't work very well for him, unfortunately. Eleanor Pace, now in 2nd place, was leading the race for more than half of the time. He has now got a daunting task ahead of him, trying to catch up on Frost. And I think he's got a bit of aero damage on him, so I really don't believe it's going to be easy for him to do that. Nonetheless, I'm going to call him Magic Mike Pace tonight, Mr. Kalen. Anything is possible. I'm fairly sure his pit crew would have gone minor damage. It's a scratch. Work it off, run the laps, get the win, get the victory. Whether he can, different discussion. Popcorn, on the other hand, has had a very lonely race. I'm still in 3rd position, still doing good. Again, going back, recapping everything. Eleanor Pace, Popcorn, Zera, part of Team Pace Corn. These boys are looking good for a good victory tonight, especially from a points position. Double podium for a team. That is very hard to achieve itself. So, probably going to be one of the first. Gale VDB getting a stop-go penalty, and that is probably for pit entry, pit exit speed. Too quick, man. Slow it down when you get into the pits. Don't release that limiter upon exiting the pits. This is just gonna get you a penalty. Hey, starts back in it again. So definitely had some internet issues or internet challenges. He looks like he came back with a better connection than what was before. However, it is losing a lot of positions for him. Hats off to the man that gets disconnected and then comes back into the race, trying to finish it as best as he can. Humbly, a humble respect, man. Respect. Okay, looking at the race conditions, not what has changed. One individual in the pits. Sadly, I cannot clear that pit thing for him. Not going to be a happy camper because he's going to have to do a couple of laps, come back in, do a pit stop. Robin Dobbin, on the other hand, is so far in 4th position. So big ups to Robin, being as solid as he is, hitting it every single time, lap by lap. He is chasing down Popcorn. Got a bit of time to make up in order for him to do so. Nonetheless, being a solid racer, putting consistent laps down every single time, has gotten him into a very good position. Checo, on the other hand, another man in a Ferrari, currently sitting in 5th place. Looks like a very well phenomenal drive with him. Skitty, on the other hand, struggling a lot this evening. Probably not the one of his best races. And again, that Audi is just so hard. With everyone I've spoken to throughout the racing communities, the Audi is such a great car. But when it comes to racing or curbs, probably not the best choice at hand. And this evening, surprisingly, we are seeing a lot of the boys in the Ferraris dominating it, which I find very interesting because it's wet, but they are kicking up a storm here. Top 3 boys in the Ferrari. The only individual cutting the Ferraris out and making it 4 in a row is Robin and his Aston Martin. And then that is followed by Skitty in his Audi, Mulgary in his Lexus looking very good in 7th position, who I believe didn't do a qualifying lap, probably opted to start at the back of the pack. Nonetheless, kept it out, kept it clean, I believe and assume, and stayed away from where everyone else has suffered from this evening, which is at Skyline, and is now sitting very comfortably in 7th position. There's a couple of good comments here on the stream. So Mr. Ike going, the team is only as fast as its slower driver, and a driver is only as fast as their worst result. Finishing is always better than a don't. I cannot. A DNF, yes, a DNF. You know what? I cannot agree with that at any given point. Pick it up, finish the race, get it done, get it dusted. This week might not be your better race result, but next week will be one of those good results. And I have to admit, I do believe, just thinking of it, I mean, Pacecorn, teammate of Eleanor Pace, didn't really have the best season thus far. From a team perspective, they were doing well, but I don't recall Pacecorn getting the better results in all totalness. And again, I could be completely wrong. From recollection, he's been there, but he hasn't really been there. This week he's bringing it on. I'm hoping to hear from these guys when if they finish up where they do, 26 minutes to go, getting them into an interview room and going like, please tell me this is your favorite track. And if they all go, they love this track, then I'm a happy man. Again, I am one of the odd ones that does love it. It's just one of those races that gets you going. And again, another nice yellow there by car number 13, which is Kitty again on Skyline. Missed it out by a few seconds. Don't have a replay to show that to you, but I picked it on and awkward silence. I'm calling that commentator's curse. That is a commentator's curse. Just as I was talking about him fumbling it up at Skyline, coming down the S's, haven't seen anyone make any real incident mistakes in the S's. Here comes Skitty and plays ping pong with the walls coming down the mountain. That Audi is destroyed. Pity the man that touched the wall. Not the best races he's going to have. He is definitely not going to be very happy. Now, talking about, let's go back to the leaders. I am seeing Eleanor Pace making quite a bit of time up. He was at the start of his session after his pit stop, plus or minus about 5 seconds based on delta away from Frost. That has now decreased to less than 3. So the question stands, and again, just looking at it, that is J Doble Pace in 8th position, part of the Pace Motorsport Corporation, secondary team for Team Pace Corn. And again, this is where we talk about it. This is like you have Red Bull Racing and then you have Red Bull Racing 2.0. One is better than the other, or I don't know. Let's not go into that. That's just too much drama. Way too much drama. Let me focus on GT racing. We do have 2 teams that joined up here. Both of them are individuals. Well, both of them driving for their own team. Oh, that did not happen. That is not what I expected to see. Eleanor Pace bumbling it up as soon as he entered quarry, trying to recover his car off based on the momentum he had, and then pushes it back into the wall. I don't think he lost a lot of position though, but he is definitely going to have more damage on his car. Just by looking at it, he was catching frost, and now he might have placed himself in a very difficult position, because if that Ferrari has some severe front end damage, then Pace Popcorn ZA, again his teammate, might just be able to catch him up. Would not be a disadvantage for the team, because again we can still figure out whether we can do a 1-2, a 2-3 finish, so 2 podiums for the team in itself. But it has put a spanner in the works, that is for sure. Robin Dobbin is not far away from Popcorn ZA. Just looking at how the car performs, trying to figure out whether he has substantial amount of damage. Doesn't look like it though. I could be wrong. No unusual understeer or oversteer that I can pick up. So could not be as bad as I initially anticipated. Well, let's see how this unfolds. I could be completely wrong. Now, just over 20 minutes to go. Let's see if we can find some individuals that are actually fighting with one another. Based on where we are, lap situations and scenarios, Sarge is now back into it. He's done his pit stop. He is in 16th position. Probably just racing to finish his race. Big ups to him again, coming back in after getting that whole race disconnect. And that's probably just an internet scenario. BRNTZ, now, not an individual I've actually featured the whole race long. He is currently in 15th place. The other Audi driver, looking good, loving the livery though. That all black and grey sculpting on the Audi does look phenomenally well. Don't believe he had the best of start races. GTA is slow. Again, one individual lost. Unsure who that was. But I'll take a moment to see if I can figure out who that is. Top 5 guys looks to be the same. What is there? But no, definitely lost a guy. GTA is slow. Teammate of GTA is Frost. Team of Valentino, currently in 12th position, trying to fight it back. He is chasing down Skitty, who has definitely not had the best of races. And Charlie currently in 10th. And I don't believe that is a fight for position, but a challenge nonetheless. I do think the guy ahead of him, Jay Doble. No, it's not. I had that completely wrong. No clue who that is. It is a Ferrari. It's not J Double. Ah, that's Checo. That is Checo. So that's the guy in 4th position. Looking good from a race point of view. I don't know who we've lost. Oh, greatness. Robin Dobbin disconnected. The Aston Martin is gone. Aston Martin. The individual that had and made it, well, brought his A game to challenge the Ferraris has disconnected. What an utter disappointment. So, Mr. Icon on here goes, Bathurst with rain is like a unicorn. It rarely happens. That is true. That is very true. Bathurst and Laguna Seca is one of those tracks that, for you to see it raining on race day is like a unicorn scenario. It just never happens. In one of those conditions where it is a rainy, well, it's more warm, hot, very little rain scenario. But our motto here is we will make it as challenging as we can. That is just what it is. Nothing is ever easy. But speaking about it, we have a race this weekend, and I believe it's an endurance race on Bathurst. And I think they're going to pull out all stops with us and making it rain all track long. And that's not going to be easy at all. Okay, so where do we start? That is Dave. He is chasing down J Doble. So from a battle point of view, these guys are the closest on track. That is Skitty in 11. Dave trying to make up plenty of positions. He did have it somehow rightly steadied up. Oh, these boys are battling very hard side by side, nearly there. Coming into Griffin's Mountain. Dave putting out all the stops here. Making sure that J Doble is very well aware that he is right behind him. Again. Still loving this view though. Coming down the mountain, tail end of a Ferrari. Into Dipper. Good exit there by J Doble. Does that Ferrari have the pace? Does look like it. Now again, question now stands is what is Skitty going to do? Being so many positions down the track, Dave is looking very hungry. He wants that place. He needs that position. Up for grabs is 6th spot. Currently the only battle I can locate on track within the last few minutes of the race. So this is going to get very interesting very soon. Somehow it just looks like Dave's Merc turns the minute he moves the steering wheel. All over on top of that. Taking it in on the inside line. This is where it's going to get interesting. Side by side they go. Contacts made. Ah! That was a slight touch here and there. Fairly confident that is not how one would want it to make that move. Unfortunate scenario there. So, question stands. Was that a puddle of water just before quarry that shunted Dave's Merc into J Doble? Not sure, but these two definitely made contact just going into quarry. Alan or Dave giving the position back, realizing that that's not how he wants to be known. Again, great sportsmanship shown there. Fantastic to see. I kind of have to applaud individual drivers that has the ability to do so. Now, in some instances, it's very hard, and even in certain communities, it's a different review. Make contact, just carry on driving. Penalties will be given to you, but then, in a sense, I'm like, you know what? If that's the mentality or the approach, is it worth it? Does it make it fun? I mean, if you are in that position and you have made contact with a driver, um, and you just decide to continue on with the mentality that you will get penalized, it is what it is, and hope for the best. In some aspects, that's probably the best way through. JW made a massive mistake though, coming down Conrad Straight. He's gonna head into the pits. Not a happy chappy. Again, could be purely based on damage. That contact might have had a very negative impact on him. I don't know. Up for comments, guys. I'm here to review what you reckon is probably the best approach. And ooh, that is a broken Ferrari. Don't know who that was. Final few minutes of the race. 75 minutes in total for these guys has just been a daunting task. I'm sorry. Keep on saying it as if it's very difficult to do much on this track, let alone win. But anyone who has ever placed a car or has even driven a series or a competition or an event on Mount Panorama, irrespective of what platform you use, whether it be ACC, Assetto Corsa, GT Sport, Project Cars, you name it, iRacing, Mount Panorama, aka Bathurst. Never easy. Never easy. It's those that can keep it clean, stay off the wall, keep the car on the black stuff. Those are the ones that will capitalize. Top of 10 minutes, just above that, to go from a racing perspective. Kind of guessing it's gonna finish up within the next 5 or 6 laps. So not a lot to go, just purely based on calculations. Started with 18 drivers, finishing it off with 18 drivers. In all fairness, I have to go, brilliant performance though. If I have to sum this up in a couple of words, I would go Skyline brought their A game. That's kind of where it is. Skyline at Mount Panorama brought its A game and did what it does best. If you lapse of moment of concentration, you would have ended up on the side of the track that wasn't tarred black, and from there it only went south or downhill. And that, I thoroughly enjoyed this. This has been epically good so far from a racing standard conditions. And for those that have joined the stream, again, boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen and everyone abroad, again, appreciate your support. This has been really fun. My favorite track of all, one of my favorites. I have a few, this is definitely one of them. I would call them in my top 5 for sure. Probably my top 3. You have been listening to myself, Sean, and watching the boys racing on console at LNR Team versus Team Series event. This is our season 2, race 5. 2 more to go. So next week we're gonna head off to a GT4 race. Sorry. Again, one of my top 5 favorite tracks, Gran, which is going to be actually quite fun because I believe it's going to be a dry race. So GT4's dry race, Brands Hatch next week, and then we're going to end off the season with a multi-class race. That is 2 weeks from now, so dude, stay tuned. Feel free to sign up. Those that want to get hold of us, we are on all sorts of social media platforms, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, then of course live streaming on YouTube. We do try and stream everything we host. Again, those individuals that want to get involved or participate or join us, whether you want to race, whether you want to help us in the background of things, administrative duties, stewarding, commentary, streaming, broadcasting. We cater for all platforms at the moment. So racing's on PC Tuesday nights. Next week is our second season kicking off. Again, going to be fantastic to watch. Phenomenal commentating going to happen there. Live stewarding taking on board our PC standard sprint racing. And then of course we have ACC on Wednesday nights, if you all been aware. And then GT Sport, Gran Turismo, Sunday nights, team versus team. You are most welcome to get us on Discord. All our facilities communications happen in Discord. Website details is at www.logistical-nightmare.com, where you will find further details about us. And then last but not least, we are proudly sponsored by Twins Motorsports, Sky Coffee Co., and then of course Steakhouse Squared. Those that want to explore more racing conditions, facilities and so forth, you are free to go to www.gridfinder.com, where you will find other communities doing what we do best, bringing you best racing and broadcasting abilities. Again, catch us there or any other communities. And then last but not least, we are proudly South African, so we are not the only ones out there. We have other fellow communities that we in partnership with in order to get the best racing out there for individuals that love sim racing. And again, that is me. I am your host, loving to watch, stream, race and broadcast. And then last but not least, and then of course thanks to Ike reminding me, big thanks to our Patreon members. I mean, without those individuals making it ability or contributing to our community, giving us the abilities to do such wonderful things, big ups, big thanks to them. I'd individually shake their hands if I have the ability to do so, but I thank them too. Oh, that is a mouthful, an absolute mouthful. That took 4 minutes to just say that. Back to racing, boys. Last 5 minutes of it, and again, not a lot has changed. Initially, I thought LNR Pace would have the ability to catch up fast, but then again, endured a fender bender right on the top end of the mountain, and then a bit of an incident at Quarry. GTA is fast, didn't lead the race from the word go, but after he has made his pit stop, has been leading it. Anything up for grabs, anything can happen. This is still the mountain, but does look like he is potentially going to win this. And then, not far from that, the two other potential podium, Eleanor Pace, followed by Popcorn. We have Checo in the Ferrari in 4th position. I think we can classify it. A dominated race by the boys in a Ferrari. Never have I ever. Tables could have turned. It could have been another car manufacturer. Like we said, it's those individuals that actually keep it on track that will make it count. So, big ups to these guys. Mulgari, who I believe, and again, I might just need to look at it. Let's just go review that. Qualifying positions. Mulgari did not set a qualifying lap. So, Mulgari has gone all the way from 17th position up to 5th, not setting a qualifying lap, keeping his nose clean, currently being lapped by the leader. Nonetheless, that is irrelevant of where we stand at this moment. Kept it clean, did his race, stayed away from the problems, worked his way up all the way from the back of the grid, sitting very comfortably in 5th position. I would say that is a phenomenal drive. Probably a good potential for driver of the day. I mean, if you think about it, based on theory, strategy, achievement, good execution. Eleanor Dave in 6th, Mutois in the in his McLaren. It does seem like he's trying to fend off NTZ, which I wouldn't believe is the best choice though. It does look like NTZ is more comfortable in his Audi. AC Mutois looking like that McLaren is an absolute handful, corner to corner, entry to exit. Stability is not there. Aerodynamics is all over the charts. Nonetheless, drive of the day, very well done. Frankie in the Aston B12. I gotta admit it, every time I just click on this and I look at this and I just listen to it, love that sound. I absolutely love the sound coming out of that Aston. It's one of my favorites. Charlie in 9th, he's chasing down Frankie, a few seconds adrift. I think racetrack wise, this is the closest battle on track. So these two individuals have done phenomenally well, staying in the top 10. Closing it off is Jay Doble in 10th. He who had a small incident with Dave. Not 100% sure what happened there. I would guess a puddle of water, standing water. Those two made contact, or it's just a scenario where two cars misjudged the corner. One went too short, one went too wide. I don't know. Uncertain. But this is where we stand. Good racing from him. Skitty on the other hand. I think I'm going to take a moment of silence here. Like an absolute moment of silence. Because every time I go onto Skitty, something has gone wrong. I am refusing to showcase Skitty completely. Like, that is not happening. 12 positions, which will probably be 11th now, because Skitty is definitely going to go to the pits. His GTA is slow, and OJJ in 13th. Leader on the final lap, final few corners here. Try and stay with him up until the point we have a race finished. How good does that look? Subtle movements, slow inputs on the wheel. Making sure you don't overdrive the car, heading into the top of the mountain, coming down via Skyline into the S's, in Dipper, Conrad Strait. Very few tweaks. Oops, phenomenal drive there. Mr. Frost, final corner. I would guess. Race winner at the mountain. Out qualified everyone. What a drive. This has to be a happy man. That is for sure. A race well deserved. Parking it off Tal's corner. He has absolutely had it. This is Alan Arpace coming in for the final kill. Couple of corners for him to go. Gotta get these boys into the chat box. Trying to see if we can. Then we have Popcorn in third. Checo still a lap to go. Mulgary in fifth. Dave takes sixth. Everyone that has now finished at the back of the pack finishing their races. OJJ in 13th. Robin there in 15th. And I do recall Robin disconnected tonight, so that is an absolute unfortunate scenario to him. Two guys didn't have the best race. Checo yet to finish. And he's still got a bit of a while to go. Hey gents, ladies and all, me doing multitasking. Should have had this all copied and pasted prior to the race scenarios. Checo finishing it up in his fourth position. That is a Ferrari 1-4 finish. Skitty yet to close off his lap. I find very interesting. So, that is where we stand. What a race, ladies and gentlemen. That was phenomenally spectacular. As we finished, Frost first, Pace second, Popcorn third, Checo fourth, Ferrari, followed by Mulgary, who didn't qualify, yet managed to gain positions by positions, lap by lap, starting at the back, finishing at fifth. Dave in sixth, Charlie in seventh, Frankie in eighth, J Double in ninth, rounding up the top 10 is RTA Mutua. Phenomenal drive by all the drivers. Ooh, gotta go back to garage. Have to get the other sessions. Copy and paste. And I think I got a couple of guys in with me to talk. So I'm gonna cut it off here, go back to an interview room, see if I can get that all sorted out. Then let's see if we can get a couple of drivers up here for interviews. Might be a bit tricky. Hopefully we can do something, get their overview, because I'd love to hear what they had to say, how the race was, how it ended up, how challenging it was, a bit of comments and information on that scenario. There we go. Race winner. Race winner. Mr. GTAS Frost. I gotta ask, man, how difficult was that?
That wasn't very tough. My hands are hurting. My head is hurting. That was insane.
Insane.
Yeah, insane.
So you come to the table. You smash it on a qualifying session. Out qualified Eleanor Pace by half a second. Lap one kicks off. Hell's corner, and you drop 2 positions. Like that didn't go to
Yeah,
plan.
no. So qualifying, Skitty and myself, I saw had the same plan to try and get out quickly. So I was waiting, and it worked out pretty well with the traffic. But I really don't know where the lap time came from because my quickest lap in practice was like a 208 point something, point one or point zero. So I was just like focusing, looking at the lap, and it was 1.2 up from my banker, but I only saw the point two, and I'm like, it's not enough. I have to push. I have to push. Now it's point three and point four, and when I went over the line, I saw it was 1.4 quicker than the banker. That was a bit of a surprise. Um, and then on the start, I don't know. I would like to. I'm going to watch the YouTube clip, but I'm pretty sure pace was about a car length in front of me when the lights went green. So that put me off a little bit, and then Skitty mugged me around the outside into Al's corner. And yeah, basically at that point, I realized, okay, this was going to be pretty close up the mountain. I need to give the guys some space. And my tire pressures took about 3 laps, or from practice, I knew it took about 3 laps to get in. So the first 3 laps was just don't hit the wall, stay out of trouble. And then Skitty had that half spin on lap three, I think. And I just pinned it because I thought he was going to come back across the track from the wall. And I just made it through. And then it was just sitting about catching pace. And it was freaking hard. It was like a tenth a lap. And then one mistake he made was 1 second a lap. And it was close. And I couldn't work out where to pass him like normal. I mean, I'm getting pretty used to being stuck behind Kalen. Um, and then he made one from out of turn one. He made a small mistake on one lap, and I tried to take the karting line on the outside, but it didn't work into turn two. And then I tried and I couldn't. And then when he pitted, I don't know if he had some damage. When he pitted, I had 2 laps of fuel, and I said, okay, just go for the overcut. 2 quali laps, and yeah, it worked. And
I
that
did.
was it.
I did. I was kind of gonna go with that because you guys were battling it out for quite a bit. You were catching up pace, and we're gonna talk to pace not long from now, and I do want to get his viewpoint. You were all over the back of him, hitting it through. Kind of felt the frustration where you wanted to pass him but didn't pass him, and then I assumed you did a good of qualifying banking laps when he went into the pit, and then I went like, are you gonna make it? Is it gonna be your race? Have you done enough to outdo it? And then you came out ahead of him, and then of course took the race victory. Um, I'm yet to find out by Pace what happened there afterwards, because I know Pace. He is a very difficult man to beat on track. That is just with how it works out. But I gotta give it up to you, man. Big ups. This is your third victory for the series so far, so it's looking phenomenally well. You must be absolutely ecstatic. Next
After
week
the
is
nightmare of last week, I mean, after the nightmare of last week, this was, yeah, I'm pretty happy about this. And yeah, this all of these races that you guys are putting out every week is a new challenge. I don't know how you do it. Some of it is a little bit sadistic, but for the rest, it is every week it is it's quite fun. It's a big challenge. So,
no
yeah, let's see what
glad you
next week brings.
glad you boys love it. It's good to hear. Um, again, big congratulations for your victory, man. You phenomenal race. Great qualifying lap. You and Kale and Pace had went all in. Good battles down there. So uh, I guess next week's Brands Hatch, and that's going to be epic, more fun. Let's see, Mr. Pace, from your end, listening to Frost. coming out of your pit stop, I'd like to know, like, I think we all want to know, did you have damage? What happened?
How's it, Sharky? I'm trying to remember if I had damage at that point. I don't believe so. What had happened before I went into the pits, I was having a bit of trouble with the brake pedal, busy braking for me, my ghost breaker. So that's why he was catching me at some points by a second a lap down the Conrad Straight. And then just as I was going into the pits out of the chase, um, my brake did the same ghost braking, and I think Frost got caught unaware by how quickly he closed in on me. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I don't know what's going on. Let me just quickly just jump in the pits. I was actually looking to do quite a long first stint, and then come out firing, doing quali laps to the end for the last 20 odd minutes or so. But when I had come out of the pits, I unfortunately got stuck behind one of the back markers who held me up in the mountain section. I think I lost about 2.5, 3 seconds there. And that obviously allowed for us to capitalize in by staying out. And then I think at that point, after getting past the back marker, I did clip one of the outside walls. It gave me about 6 seconds damage, but it wasn't like even 10 seconds damage wasn't actually doing quite a lot to hinder my lap times at all. So yeah, no, it was just a mistake on my end. And then I think towards within the second stint, there was a bit of a ding dong battle between myself and Frost. I saw the gap was between 3 to 4 seconds the whole time. And then it was just the one point when he had overtaken the back marker JOO pace, that I was trying to overtake him after after Hell's Corner into turn 2.
Mm.
And I wasn't close enough, but on exit of turn 2, the exit curve actually caught me out, and I spun it there, which then obviously gave him an extra 20 seconds to cap it off at the end of the race. But yeah, it was a good race nonetheless. I'm happy. I honestly, I was nowhere yesterday. I was still spinning left, right, and center, clipping walls. I think after work today, 5 o'clock, I jumped on, just tried to make sure I stayed on track, no matter how many times I hit the wall. And yeah, great result at the end. And just also chatting to Popcorn on the side just to make sure that we were both on the same page in terms of setup and like our times. Yeah, it definitely helped. And I'm looking at my ratings here. Car control dropped by about 20 points. So it says a lot for how difficult this track was and how difficult this race actually was tonight.
True, true. Mountain is difficult, whether it is wet or dry. And you picked up on a couple of things I was wanting to go, because you and Mr. Popcorn ZA, aka Neil, team partners, again, I think, and I could be wrong, good results for you boys as a team. I mean, I think it's the only
Mm-hmm.
team that has managed a podium in this event so far. That's big ups for you from a point standings. Next week's going to be challenging. I would believe you, Frost, and Skitty's other boys to beat in the front back, but I guess it's all for next week to see where it is. Um, I think one last question from me, man, is what are you bringing next week to take on Frost? Is kind of what it is.
It's a question to me.
Yes, to you, man. This is where the competition lies. I kind of see you two battling it out so much. Race 1 was there, race 2 was there. Mount Panorama is here. I'm guessing Brands at. And Frost, you're more than welcome to commentate as well. Is it all gloves off at Brands?
I'm trying to recall what car Frost was going to use this as a GT4. I can't actually remember. But yeah, I think I'm gonna struggle on the straight, so I'm definitely gonna try and make it up in the corners where I can with the Porsche. I am actually quite keen to know what that mystery round is gonna be. Um, but yeah, no, I don't think it's all gloves off. I think the gloves were off long time ago already. It's just nice to be able to have a constant battle. So whether or not it's Frost, whether or not it's Skitty. Muto has also been within the fray. Popcorn himself. Yeah, it's just tense the whole time around. So yeah, I don't know what Frost has to say, but yeah, just hoping for the best each round, man.
For sure. I've got the same sentiments. It's awesome to rock up every week, and everything is so close, and it's good racing and clean racing. Next week, Brand's not my favorite track, but I think we're doing the Aston, if I'm correct. So I've got no idea how that's going to go, but we'll try, and we'll work at it and see. Hopefully, we can be at the front again, or close to the front.
It's gonna be lovely. Now, going the guy that finished up and rounded off the podium position, Mr. Neil, aka Popcorn Zere, teammate of Callum Pace.
How's it Sharks there?
To be fair,
yeah,
to be fair,
yeah,
lonely race it seemed like it.
yeah,
But you brought it all the way through. So your perspective?
yeah. Like you say, very, very lonely, except for the starts. I know Dave tried to get around me coming up the cutting, which was very close on the first lap. But after that, I just kind of kept up a bit of pace with the guys at front. And then obviously I saw Skitty spin out, so I was quite glad to gain a place there. And after that, then I was kind of on my own, except for I had a little bit of a spin up the cutting as well, but later on, like a slight bit of damage, but nothing too bad. But yeah, pretty much by myself the rest of the way. Maybe one or two back markers might have gotten away there. But other than that, yeah, it was fun though. I mean, I definitely aim to be as consistent as possible. So that's what I go for. So I'm just also glad that this is like one of my favorite tracks. So it definitely helps.
Finally, finally,
But
someone that loves the track.
no,
Finally.
it's weird. It's weird for some reason. Like this track, I'm up there close to the top oaks. So yeah, that's why I make sure when this track comes up, I put the work in and try at least get close to their time. So, and also just what Frost was saying at the start there, Skitty also seemed to be ahead of me. So I don't know what happened there, but no, no biggies. Yeah, just glad that we Pace Corn got some good points. We definitely needed it after last week when neither of us were able to race. Yeah, so we're back in the hunt for first place.
No, definitely a good result as a team. I would believe you guys were in need of this, considering yes, last week you guys didn't race and so forth. Congratulations again. First podium, I think. I could be wrong.
Yes, for this season, yes. Yeah, I've been hovering 7th, 8th roundabout there.
Well deserved.
Yeah, so yeah, I've been wanting this for a while, so very happy.
Well deserved. So, closing it off,
Thanks,
boys,
man.
ladies, gentlemen, everyone on stream. I'm gonna just go final thoughts from you all, and I'll go Frost, Pace, and Popcorn, and then we can end it all nicely off.
Your final thoughts. It was a huge challenge this, and it was a lot of fun. And I have to say, this is probably I've done quite a lot of team versus team on LNR, and this season is by far the most satisfying. Just in terms of the races and just the whole setup, it is extremely satisfying. So kudos to you guys.
Thanks, man. Mr. Pace. Get off, man.
Please
Shut
don't
up.
give us this combo again. As much as I do enjoy the track, and like Neil said, that it's also one of the tracks I somehow managed to get a decent result at. Yeah, it's very nerve-wracking when you have to struggle the whole week leading up to the race with your prep and your practice and being nowhere, and then come the race somehow miraculously
It all comes together.
something it all comes together. Yeah, so yeah, just don't. You can give us Bathurst again, but not in the wet. But yeah, no, awesome race. I think there's a few, if I may, there's a few honorable mentions that I think
Sure.
also quite tough Checo, he did quite well with his P4. Gary, and Gary's going to be talking our ear off this week with his P5. And forgot who else there was. I was looking at the results earlier, but yeah, no, a lot of the gents, some of them definitely upset, some of them definitely happy. Yeah, no, just let's bring it back next week. GT4, I think it's going to be very close, and yeah, excited to see the finales, the final 2 races of this season.
Good. Mr. Neil, Mr. Popcorn.
Yeah, just thanks to you guys, Eleanor, you guys in the admin. You're always bringing the good stuff. It's always interesting, always fun. Looking forward to Bathurst. Sorry, not Bathurst. Brands Hatch. Another track that I like, but I don't think I'm as quick as I am here. But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Nice. You guys are so complimentary tonight. It makes me blush. Makes me blush. Nonetheless, this was a good race. Again, everyone on the stream, don't be shy. Shout out to all the drivers. Tops up for Frost, Pace, and Popcorn. Top 3 drivers for the evening. Do not just watch our stream. Go out, check out these boys. Some of the individuals have their own streams all over the show. They stream. They need the support. They need the love. We're not the only community out there. Again, all for love for sim racing. Catch us next week, same time, same place. LNR Wednesday night. We're gonna go Brands Hatch GT4s. It's not the final race, but there's more to come thereafter. So check us out then. Do have a good evening. Good night. God bless. Adios. Bye bye.